which, because it's a hybrid, has a vibrational sympathy with these entities operating just outside of visible light, human sight, and therefore that vibrational connection allows these particular bloodlines to be possessed, another ancient theme right up to the present day, by these entities much more powerfully and efficiently in terms of controlling their mental and emotional processes than they can with the rest of the population. And so this is the key, Alex. You've got a human bloodline, which is a hybrid bloodline with a certain type of DNA, which they interbreed incessantly and have over the centuries to hold. This allows a vibrational connection with these entities, which allows the possession of these human forms by these non-human entities. And then you've got the secret society network, which manipulates these human elite bloodlines that we talk constantly about into the positions of power, and indeed their gophers into the positions of power. And what we're actually doing is putting these entities into those positions of power. But because we look at them with our five-sense sight, we decode only the human level, so that's all we see. But if you could tease out your visual acuity and see a wider range of frequencies as you look at these people, you would see anything but a human entity overshadowing it. This is how they've done it. And this is what these bloodlines are about, having vibrational compatibility with these entities which they worship, these gods that they worship.
Well, and I know the elite believes that. When I was at Bohemian Grove, people could say, oh, it's just a play. I was there with 1,000+ members watching the ritual. They were grinding their teeth. They were in religious rapture. They did some other ritual over behind the trees that was the real ritual, and they did the mock human sacrifice of the child, and that's in their own literature. Now Macy's has come out with all of this Bohemian Grove, the Knights of the Illuminati, 666, the Hell Group. I mean, now they're really throwing it in our face. And we always know that through the popular fashions, they telegraph what's coming in the future. Why are we seeing all the skulls and death and now Illuminati clothing?
Yeah, because, they understand, because they are so entrapped in computer-level reality. They understand this stadium, and so what they're doing is trying to pull all the time, as we talked about in this chat today. They're trying to pull humanity into a sense of reality that operates in the same stadium.
And that's what the Roman Colosseums were all about, in the blood and death.
Yeah, I tell you what, Alex, they are absolutely terrified of this awakening, which they knew was coming and they know is now here. They're terrified of it, and they're desperately pushing this agenda forward, not least the microchip, because the real idea of the microchip, yes, it's for electronic tagging, and the computer knows where everyone is, yes. But I've been given chapter and verse by a CIA scientist about this many years ago now, 10 years in fact, 1997, 98. The idea is to hijack the body computer through the microchip, so they can externally manipulate us vibrationally, physically, mentally, and emotionally from a distance, either en masse or isolating us as individuals. And the reason that there's many reasons for the same thing, but a major reason for wanting a world DNA database is because we all vibrate, although we vibrate within certain frequency range, we all vibrate on our own unique signal as well. And if you know someone's DNA through the technology they have, they can work out that unique signal and target it. It's all the whole conspiracy kind of comes down to in the end, and everything else is playing it out.
Well, we knew that from the Army plan that was written up in the 80s, declassified in 2000 in February, we know in there the Army says that through fads, through security, through prisoners, through Alzheimer's patients, and through having law enforcement be forced to take chips, they could then force the public to do it. And now if you want to be a fighter pilot, you're going to have it. That's openly mainstream news. They are preparing the public that if you want to have a job, you're going to have basically this little wire port into your brain. And the Army says that by 2025, all of us will be, this is what they say, and this is where the movie The Matrix came from, was from the DARPA reports. And this is in my book, Descent into Tyranny. They say that they're going to put us all in tanks to be in the hive mind. So that movie is the plan.
Well, the hive mind is something I've been writing about for a long, long time, and you can only put people, because, when I talk about, infinite consciousness, I'm not talking about everyone being a clone and acting the same. Infinite consciousness is infinite possibility.
Yeah, tied into the bigger picture, not into the narrow band. But David, my point is, you're not just saying this. The official Army prospectus says this is the plan for full spectrum dominance, because there'll be no more war. We'll all be safe if we're in these tanks. You can't make stuff up that weird. And then last year, the British 10-year prospectus talked about having a neutron bomb. Us, if we resist them, having to kill masses of us, flash mobs. I mean, people think David Icke is weird or off the charts. If you read what DARPA and the Pentagon and their head futurist, Mr. Marshall, are saying, it's all even stranger than David Icke.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the rabbit hole goes much deeper than any of us have got yet. But the thing is, Alex, as you were saying, as I was pointing out, the infinite consciousness is all possibility. So expressing your uniqueness, your maverick, your unique spin on life is actually expressing the infinite consciousness.
And that changes the controlled paradigm, so we're taking it over cell by cell.
Exactly. So when you talk, as you just have, about those documents and how the tanks and everyone becoming a hive mind, they can only create a hive mind. They can't get to consciousness, you see. It's vibrating too quickly. It's too powerful for them anyway. Their arena is the body-computer decoding system. And they can only put us in a hive mind by locking us in that level of reality. Now, they've done it for vast numbers of people, but this awakening is literally breaking the spell.
It's a massive revolution.
Yes, it is. And people should not for a second underestimate the incredible, extraordinarily amazing magnitude of what's going on. Yes, we need to know what the manipulation and the conspiracy is doing, so we streetwise to it, and there are enormous numbers of people who still don't realize they're slaves, who need that information to realize that they are, then they can do something about it.
David, we got to go to calls. We got to go to calls. Mate. Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is this: Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, DavidIcke.com. Check it out, and then put it into action. Doesn't mean you'll be a master of this overnight. Just start questioning the system, stop watching TV, love your family, eat healthy, go out and warn people, expose the bankers, and that leads you on the path to expanding your horizons. David Icke, what an amazing individual. David, let's take calls. We're going to skip this next break as well for the internet listeners. Michael in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Is this me?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Hi, Michael, yeah.
Hey, thanks, man. You both express yourself so eloquently. I've been wanting to talk with both of y'all for a while. And, talking about the dynamics of these vibrational frequencies, you've covered it pretty good. What I think we have coming toward us, those that are truth rising, such as the both of you and your listening audience, is that we're approaching a point of separation in our vibration frequencies. They've kept, by keeping us in fear, they've brought us down to their low life vibration that you've expressed so eloquently. And by us raising our vibration of frequency, by getting above their fear that they're trying to perpetrate us and keep us beat down, we will be able to raise our vibration frequency to a point that they won't be able to exist, because they are so low life and dishonest, and they create the killing fields. They've contaminated the planet, the food, the water, everything, and they operate with no conscience. And I just feel like we're approaching that point of separation where they won't be able to function in their thought forms in a higher vibration.
In fact, that's what they call it. They call it separation consciousness in the people they torture to create mind control slaves, and that's declassified. David?
Yeah, and I went through years and years in the 90s and early in this century, deeply researching mind control techniques. And when I talk to a stream of mind control victims that were now trying to deprogram, they'll tell me the same. They can't get to consciousness. The mind control is done on the body-computer level. They even talk in the mind control projects about mind files and things like this. They understand what the computer is. They're trying to lock us into that.